Hey, Johnny here. So, I spent the weekend playing Legendary Tales. I know there's been a lot of controversy. I mean, a lot of people have liked it too, but a lot of people have been really put off by the graphics, and I've just heard some negative things, and so I kind of wanted to talk about my take on the game. I spent the weekend playing it before I said anything, because it was a $55 title, and there are reasons why maybe it would have done better as a $30 title. I could see it selling more volume because I know a lot of people didn't pick it up for that $55 price tag just because of the $55 price tag, whether or not it was a good game. 55 is a full price VR game from a AA studio. That being said, the studios that are really working on the good feels and the good mechanics of gameplay really do need to be supported. And is this one of those devs? Let's kind of talk about it. I came across a video this morning. Frank was taken. He's got a VR channel that I watch. Yeah, he's got a lot of good takes, and he made a really interesting point this morning. His point was we need to support our devs if we want to keep having games. Just low-end dev may develop into a high-end dev. If we're enjoying their product, we should most likely support it, even if maybe it's not where we're at. So let's talk about why the game may not be up. We'll talk about the good, then we'll talk about the bad. So the bad, I mean, there's basically two enemies. You're fighting some skeletons and then some weird-looking taken peasants of some sort. It's a lot of similar stuff. The storyline doesn't really keep it moving. This is a role-playing game for me. I really like that we have something similar to Skyrim. Now, that being said, I'm still going over to my PSVR to hit up Skyrim because that's still one of my favorite games. And this isn't quite where Skyrim is even. But the mechanics, the overall physics, the feel of the game, it's really sweet. You have to swing your weapons a little harder than I'm used to, but the weight and the balance are there. You can very satisfactorily bash your skeletons into bits with your shield. The shield actually became one of my favorite weapons. But there's definitely no shortage of weapons. There's a lot of interesting ones. There's some that I found that were almost totally broken. There's definitely several weapons that I'm making contact and the skeletons or enemies are just bending as opposed to taking damage. That was only two weapons that I found, and it's possible I just didn't know how to work on one, some crazy spikes and stuff. So, well, one was a broadsword, and I'm pretty sure I was working that right. Then the next broadsword I got worked really well. So that's a minor hiccup. It's kind of frustrating, but really not that big a deal. And then, the second thing you're going to talk about is the graphics. They're not the best, but it provides an immersive experience. There's lots of clever background areas. I noticed that I found a lot of little funny jokes and just details and the signs and things like that. Once again, it's a small team working on this, so your expectations, my expectations rather, are more towards how the game feels. Do I feel satisfied? For instance, if we're talking about Arashi, which came out a few months ago, I was very disappointed in that game because the combat did not feel real. Um, the looks weren't great either, but they were fine, maybe even a little better than this. But the feel isn't there. You don't have a game. This game absolutely has the feel, and for me, that's the reason to play this game, to experience the feel, to have immersive battle and gameplay. This is that ride. This is a combat simulating ride. You may be a little bit low on the types and overall variety of characters, but it really doesn't seem to break your immersion for me. The bosses get increasingly difficult, so it's not like you're just running through, just killing everything left and right, super OP. I mean, you are a little OP, but you can trade that up by, using daggers instead of a sword, or, you know, just using some shields. There's so many ways to play this game. This is a game where you write your story and you play it the way you want to play it. You may be lacking a few of the little details that you'd like to see, and I know I am. I believe this game will get some patches, some upgrades, with some support. Maybe they'll do a little sell, toss it down to $30, let people catch it. Because I guarantee, had they put this game at 30, it would have been one of the new classics. It would have been a $30 hit. For $55, it's a little iffy. But as I spoke about earlier, Frank was taken. He made an excellent point on why we need to support these small devs if we want VR to keep expanding. I mean, the devs that were responsible for so many games are going out of business. Ubisoft isn't interested in expanding Assassin's Creed, so we don't even get to see that on the PSVR2. It's kind of sad. And I don't know if you just saw what I was doing with that spear, you can adjust your levels for better balance and better mechanics. You have this whole sword and spear dynamic where you can just keep these guys at a distance from the spear. This game is not a bad game, guys. It's just a little overpriced. And overpriced may not even be the right word. This is worth $55. The experience is an experience. It doesn't play like trash like a lot of these flops, but I think a lot of these flops are the reasons we're so skeptical to grab one of these new titles that may be really good. And, it may even get better. We can all talk about No Man's Sky, who in 2013 when it came out was maybe one of the biggest disappointments, worst games that could have come out. And now it's, not only is it a great flat screen game, but it's one of my favorite VR games. So you don't know what's going to happen. Now, I mean, that doesn't make it right. You should get your value up front, what you're paying for. But it is nice to know that maybe the value is coming. And I have to say, just gameplay alone, I recommend this game. Once you're immersed in reality, even if it isn't realistic, even if you only have two enemies, it feels real. And that actually is another point of this game. Don't play this game and think you're going to sit down or take it easy. This is not one of those games. This is a action-packed, standing up, moving game. You're going to get your exercise. It's kind of why it took me all weekend to get to this point where I was going to make a video, just because I'm not in the worst shape. I'm not in the best shape. I'm not going to lie. I'm playing like 40, 50-minute runs at a time and having to like take a break because I'm standing there swinging. Yeah, maybe I could slow down, but I want to feel like I'm battling. And so if I'm not swinging full force, and you do have to put a little bit into this, so you almost have to swing full force. So get ready for a little bit of a workout if you're going to check this game out, which I recommend. I don't think you'll be disappointed as far as the combat. If you're looking for a super good looking game that's super smooth with absolutely no bugginess at all, this may not be your game. But if you're looking to support a smaller dev that's hopefully will be making titles in the future, yeah, absolutely look into it. And I mean, even if you don't care about supporting the devs, that's here nor there. I mean, if you don't like it, vote with your wallet. Absolutely, that's how we do it. But give people a chance. Watch all the reviews. Take all the points. See what you can do. I mean, not every game is Saints and Sinners. Not every game is full on everything you want it to be. But as far as where it counts, this game has it. This game's got the mechanics, the physics, the feel. I didn't have any ghosting. It runs well. The graphics don't look great, but it looks good as far as gameplay. Now, this is an instance where the sword wasn't working. I've got a broadsword, and as you can see, it's just bending this guy. So that's definitely a glitch. But look, I can still block. I just can't do any damage with the broadsword. So you sit there and try to figure out, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Let's change weapons. Change a weapon here, and watch. This guy's toast. I mean, it's a fun fight. That was fun. It was a little frustrating that my sword didn't work there. That's definitely a bug. I'm sure they'll work it out. But that fight was satisfying. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Got a nice helmet out of it. I don't know. I don't know what everyone's looking for. You know, it's not an FPS. But if you're looking for something similar to Skyrim, you're looking for that role-playing game where you can build a character, you can get your friends in on it. Just go role-playing. Pretend like you're playing a D&D game. You know, whatever you want to do. There's so many creative ways to play this game. If it didn't feel good, I wouldn't recommend trying to make your own game out of it. But the feel and the immersion is there. The aesthetics there. The devs really worked on this game. You can tell it's a caring crew, and you can tell that they focused on what matters the most, in my opinion, the absolute feel of the game. And so, what I would say, and once again, I'm going back to Frank's point, if you like the way the game plays and feels, since we have the technology, it's only going to get better with their updates and their drops, and maybe even the graphics. You can have this around for a long time and get lots of playtime. There's revisitability here. I mean, it's not one of those games where you just kind of go through this linear task. You can make as many characters as you want. You can, strength, charisma. It is a role-playing game. I personally like the way it feels. I think it's going to get a little bit better. Check it out. Don't check it out. I get it either way. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate everyone. Take it easy, like, and subscribe.